The Calling Vegas 2021 was epic, man. I had a lot of fun, and I just want to give you a recap of how it all went for me, man, because I loved it. I loved every freaking second of it. I mean, it was the largest shareholder meeting that I've ever been to. People were playing the game. They loved it, and I was loving every second of it, man. This new set, Tales of Aria, is just absolutely like, mwah, it's just so good. The cards smell amazing. It's just a great set overall for players and collectors and for all the bunch. But I just want to give you a whole recap of how it went. And if you weren't there, man, it was crazy. I never could imagine this a year ago that 1,000 people would be in a building playing Flesh and Blood, opening the new set for the first time. And it was so cool. And I just want to give a huge shout out to all the content creators that were there. And I don't want to go into names because I know I'm gonna forget people. But if you talk to me there, then you know who you are. I really appreciate talking to all you guys and just having fun. And what do you know, guys? Content creators are people too. You can literally walk up to them and just talk to them and have a good chat. It's just great. It's really humbling, and it's cool how you're in your room, in your normal room like I am, and you're watching YouTube on a daily basis over the course of 6 months, and then hey, you go to this event and you can see all these people just walking around like normal, and it's just a cool thing, man. It's just cool that the community online really manifests itself into a building area, and you can be a part of that. And especially with the new set Tales of Aria, it's just so damn good. So I'll go into it in a bit. So I got there in Vegas. I got there pretty late. I was pretty jet lagged. Got in, met a bunch of people there the first day, and when they did the Tales of Aria, sealed tournament, man, it was really cool. I mean, opening Tails for the first time and seeing everybody open their packs, and it was just such a blast. It was funny too because there's about like 1,000 people there, right? And then we're just waiting for. We must have waited after we got our packs for like 20 minutes, and then finally a guy comes and says, "Hey, you may open your packs." And then you just heard the whole room, just the pack opening, just all throughout the room echoed at like an echo chamber. And then after 20 seconds, there's this guy who just goes, "Yeah, yeah," and he holds up the cold foil Fable card, and everybody's just clapping and like just happy for him. It was just such a funny moment that this grown ass man in his 30s was just like holding up a card and just like it was like Lion King, and he was holding up Simba, just like ah, you know. But yeah, so that happened, and so I opened the cards and I tried to put together my deck. And I noticed something interesting in this. In Tales of Aria, you have a ton of cards to choose from. So what I think that they really did good on Tales of Aria versus Monarch is you have so much more card choices to choose from because you have 3 heroes instead of 4. That extra card poolage, you can make a deck that's literally 45 cards, or I've heard of high as 50, I believe. But it's just really awesome how you can do that because in Monarch, literally you had 4 heroes, and whatever one you choose, you could only go up to like 33 cards or 34 cards at the most. Like maybe at 36 or 37, but you really, for the most part, you didn't have a huge card pool to choose from. Usually when I was playing those Monarch heroes, I could only choose from 33 cards, and you have to build a 30 card deck. So it's like, well, I can use all of them are just -3, so I always just used everything I could. In Tales of Aria, I think you have a much better option of just picking what do you want to do. If you want to go with Fatigue, which I think is a great beginner strategy, like if you're like, I don't know what to do here, just use pretty much all the cards that you can, except the ones that don't block for anything. I think that's one of the best strategies ever, because literally your opponents could be trying to do an aggro strategy, right? And they'll only have like a 30 card deck. So they're going to whittle through their deck much faster, and then you could have like a 45 card deck. And then you're just like, okay, block, 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 block. My deck's 50% bigger than yours, and then you just wait until the end. But ultimately, I chose my guy, Odin, the old man. The old man's really fun to play. His ability is really hard. I think he's the hardest ability of the heroes. I think Lexi's the easiest, followed by Briar and then Oldhim. Oldhim is just kind of hard to know when to do it. But ultimately, I think he's powerful in constructed, but haven't built that deck yet. Haven't played, but I'm really looking forward to it. But I was really thrilled that they have a Guardian. Just awesome. I love all the new Guardian cards. Terra Sunder is gonna be like, mwah, it's gonna be perfect in Bravo. I can't wait to play it. But ultimately, I did good. You know, I think I went 5-1 in the sealed tournament for the Tales of Aria. Had a lot of great games, a lot of cool people, met a lot of nice people. Then on Saturday, it was the main event, and I, you know me, man, I'm gonna compete in the main event. That's historic. That sounds cool, and I was really happy with my performance. I did pretty good. Uh, just overall, chain seems ridiculous. I think that what concerns me is that I've heard multiple times on turn 2 or turn 3, Chain can just unleash hell upon you. And if they have a double Art of War turn, they can just annihilate you, doing like 30 or 35 damage, like in one turn, which would probably pretty much win the game at that point. Um, it's just it just seems like too much. And a lot of people at the event and other content creators I hear, they say, "Oh, well, Seeds of Agony is the big deal. Seeds, if you took Seeds out, he'd be fair." And I agree with it. I mean, I think Seeds of Agony is the core of why he's really good. If you look at all the different card matchups and everything like that. But ultimately, I think Art of War is a big problem. I think that's the bigger problem for him because every time I hear that a chain on turn 2 or turn 1 gets some crazy combo, the card that you always hear of is Art of War. And most likely a double Art of War turn, and then they just, go ham on you. And I just think that it just adds too much variance. And I think that if you took out Seeds of Agony, if you ratted Seeds, it would really kind of take away from who Chain is. But Art of War isn't really that detrimental to Chain. I think if you took Art of War out, or if you made Art of War banish face down or something, I don't think it would be as bad. I think Chains would still run it, but you wouldn't get to use the banish card for the Art of War trigger. So I think if anything, if that deck got errated at all, it would be the Art of War, and I would say, hey, banish face down. But ultimately, hey, a lot of times I versed I think 2 chain players. I just blocked them out, and it worked. They didn't get good variants, they didn't get their good Art of War turns, and I won because they decked out, and then I just killed them with my hammer when they had like 0 cards in their deck. So it's not like it's an unbeatable deck. Not by any means. It's just when you get really crazy variants with chain, you can just you win. But I digress on that topic. Ultimately, it was cool to see a Prism one. I'll tell you that much. I thought it was really cool how it seemed like that deck really countered Chain in a way, and that player had a lot of experience. Because if you looked at the leaderboard, the Prism player had to beat 3 chains in order to get first place, and man, that I rewatched that game, and it looked like he played out really well, defended out really well, and used those red sigils in the beginning, which really helped, and just had a really good defensive strategy. But yeah, ultimately the current meta, Chain is crazy, Prism's crazy. They're the top decks in my mind. I can say that Bravo's good. I had a lot of good matchups, but the thing that I felt hard with is when I versed a couple of the prisms, it was just hard. It's like an uphill battle, and if you don't destroy every aura once it comes out, if you miss one aura, you're just toast. But ultimately, I had a lot of good matchups. Especially day one, I got some really good you know uh, facings. Like I didn't face too many chains. I think I may have fought 1 or 2 on day one. In day two, I think I fought 2, but ultimately, man, it was just so much fun to compete because if you've been listening to me for a while, I'm not a competitive player whatsoever. I am more of a collector. I collect the cards. I like to sniff the cards. I like to collect the wrappers. The frivolous things in this game, the outskirts. I like to hang out in that realm. I'm not too much of a competitor, but this game is just so damn good. I just love playing it, and I've been playing it so much that I'm like, I might as well get in the competitive sphere. And I'm not too much of a competitor in life, but it's been a lot of fun, man. And what's great is everyone that I play, or most people, are just really chill, really nice, really cordial, and just inviting. It's fun to play competitive games. It's a really good community. I have to say, overall, all the people I played especially in the national tournament, because it gets edgy, man. You see some people who are holding their cards and they're like shake, they get the shakes. And if you've seen it, you know what I mean. Because you're competing and you're like, oh man, this is a really important turn, you get the shakes, and I've definitely gotten that once or twice. But tensions are high and over all the stuff, but everyone was nice to me. Everyone was really cool. I met a lot of really cool people out there, and even some people who I never met, who weren't content creators. This guy Sid, and he was really cool. I got a hot dog with him, and he said he likes listening to me when he's in the bathtub, and I have good content for when you're in the bathtub. So I thought that was really cool, and just all these other guys I met, throughout the whole thing. Just it was great. Everyone was very positive and uplifting, and warm and fuzzies all around. But ultimately, just going to a sidebar of talking about the prize tickets, right? So I competed day one, I competed day two, but I didn't do too much of the prize wall thing. The prize wall was really cool. Long story short, you wanted to get the uncut sheets or the big expandable cards. Those were 800 tickets. It was really hard to get 800 tickets. If I was you and you were going to any of these other events with these things, don't do it alone. Be with a group of people. Find a group of people that you trust and pool tickets together to buy the big things that you want and figure out a system there. Or buy them as a group and then just sell them for cash at the vendors around. It's going to be a lot more bang for your buck. Because a lot of times, what I've seen so many times is people, they had a bunch of tickets, maybe like 300 or 400 where I was at, and literally all you can buy is like singles that are worth like $10 or $20, or you can buy like Arcane Rising booster packs or Welcome to Wrath booster packs. It's a waste of your money. It's a waste of your ticks, your TIX. That was the currency symbol. You know, use USD, the United States dollar or whatever dollar of country you're in to buy singles and booster packs. But when you have your TIX, your tickets, I think the biggest takeaway here is when you go to these events, find a group of people and just say, hey man, I'll pull in for this, and then let's sell it and then get the money back, and you can make a lot more money that way, it seems. Or if you have a buddy who really wants one of these, that's what happened in my play group. A couple people who were like really close to getting the uncut sheets. I was like, yo man, I'll just throw my tickets in for you. Come on, you get it. And that's the way to do it. Just taking the tickets and pulling it together. And even though I don't think they said like you could buy or sell, I don't know what you could do with your ticks, but they definitely had a system to where you had to pool. Because if you looked behind the counter, there's the Arcane Rising first edition box and like Welcome to Wrath first edition box alpha, and those were like 10,000 ticks and then 25,000 ticks. So they expected you to pull in some way, shape, or form. Because if you didn't, I don't know how you would have gotten those things. You'd had to literally had to go to Kinko's and print these things out and come back and convert them to the thing. But long story short, pulling your tickets is smart. I would definitely go if you're going to any of these other ones in Dallas or in Orlando. Pool it together, get the $800 prizes, $800 ticks prizes of the uncut sheets or some big thing that's worth something. I think the smaller items are kind of like a waste of time and a waste of money. Now that kind of leads me on to another topic: is how do you get ticks, Bronson? You told me these ticks things are important. How do I get them? Well, there's certain events that give a certain amount. Now, if you're in the main event, you get 0 ticks. So I think it's smart to like go in with a mindset. Hey, say, hey, am I going for these side prices or am I going to go in the main event? I was in the main event. Now I think it's smart if you go to the main event day one and you don't do good, then you on day two you can just focus on the side events, try that hustle there. But um, but I think for the best results, know what you're going in for. All round, man, it was just very well run. CFB did a good job. Just everything about it was so great. I mean, just I stayed at a hotel in the monorail system in Vegas. Took me right to the convention center, and as shown in a previous video that I'll put down a link down below, I actually did some editing for you guys. I just want to make a little video showing like, oh, like this is someone going to the event, and wow, look at all these people, and this is it. So, yeah, ultimately, just really happy to be a part of it. I mean, it was a historical event because for the longest time, I'm gonna rant at the end here. Uh, people didn't believe in this game. I've had people say, you know, I think a week or two ago, I still had someone saying, "Oh, well, you're not accounting for this game is not yet proven, and people still collect mainly and invest, and they're not really playing." and and I fully respect people's opinions when they say this shit, but fuck, man, like look at how many people attended Vegas. After that, that should be like the one-stop shop for shutting those people up. Like, hey, people play this game. And I talked to other people and they said, yeah, when they went to the Magic events in that same what is it, Vegas center, right? And they said, hey, you know, for the Magic events, we had 2, maybe 3,000 people compared to Flesh and Blood's 1,000. And excuse me, Flesh and Blood's only been around for a year and a half, and Magic's been around for 25 years, and it has a third of the player base go to Vegas. Isn't that that's kind of interesting? And you're telling me, one game it has so much more market, and then Flesh and Blood has a smaller market, but 1,000 people showed up at this event. It is what it is. The numbers speak for themselves. The players speak for themselves. And I know a lot of times on my channel, I talk about collectability because I love collecting the game. I love sniffing the cards. That's why I got into this game. But I'll tell you, man, over the last month or two, I've been really cranking out a lot of games. I've been playing a lot of just competitive games, going to as many events as I can. I've gone to 5 Road to Nationals. I've gone to I went to 2 pre-release events this time for Tails. I went to 3 last time. I mean, I'm cranking these things out, man. I'm going to all these different online events for the other thing. I forgot what it was. I've been in a lot of events. So I know that the game is a lot of fun and that more and more people are playing this game. And I'm going to tell you, over time, we've definitely seen a shift of collectors go to being players. And we're going to see more and more of that, especially with YouTube content. It's going from that right now. We're in a shift where it's all about collectability, which is going all the way into people playing the game and talking about gameplay. And I can't imagine what it's going to be like for the Nationals here in Orlando. And you bet your ass I'll be there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to be playing the main event, doing my best, and just enjoying the shit out of it, man. And I know that there's a lot of things going on in a lot of people's lives, but you gotta make the most of stuff, man. And these big events, especially if you're in the Flesh and Blood community, I mean, this is history, man. This game is gonna last, and I'm just gonna be really happy when I'm an old ass man. When I'm in my retirement home, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you know what? I was there. I was there for Vegas, like in 2021, all the way back then. But yeah, it's just great. Just to wrap things up, really appreciate all the content creators that I got to meet. It was just an amazing event, and there's a lot of awesome people. Just run very well, and I just can't wait to see what's going to happen next for this game. So, thanks for watching.